From the Department of Communication here in Phillipsburg, this is Inside Government with Charity Dunker. The Women's Desk here on St. Martin will be observing the United Nations International Day of Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls. The Observation Day for Eliminating Violence Against Girls and Women starts on November 25th and will end on December 10th. In commemoration of the day itself, on November 30th, a debate-themed Unite to End Violence Against Women and Girls #HearMeToo debate competition will be held at the Government Administration Building. Once again, that date is slated for November 30th. The time, it starts at 6:30 p.m. and it will end at 9 p.m. But from 6:30 to 7 p.m., it's a mix and mingle session that will take place. The debate, again, will start at 7 p.m. and ends at 9 p.m. On this edition of Inside Government, I will be joined by Miss Elencia Baptist-Boasman. Welcome to you.
Hi, Charity.
Hello. And also Miss Soindra Compper-Maccow. Welcome.
Hi, Charity.
All right. Both these ladies are here to share with us the functions of Women's Desk and also SXM Women Strong. Both ladies, again, thank you for joining me and making time on this edition of Inside Government here in the studios of St. Martin, Gov Radio 107.9. First things first, I'm going to gear my question towards Miss Elencia Baptist-Boasman. The Women's Desk, the founder, who are the founders and how long has it been in existence?
Officially, Women's Desk has been in existence since 1997. It was actually legislated or brought into being by the then Commissioner Edgar Lynch. During that period, there was a hype of movement going on in the region, globally as well, with regards to the rights of women and the development of women. And he thought it best, along with, I think, coming out of a policy recommendation by Ms. Richelle Emmanuel and Bernadette Barry from the Social Services Department at that time. They made a proposal recommending that we establish a Women's Desk on St. Martin. Mm-hmm. And the purpose of for Women's Desk is really it's geared towards the development of women and basically strengthening the position of a woman and her family here on St. Martin.
All right. Is Women's Desk a governmental agency? And
Yes,
which one does it fall under, if so?
Yes, it is. It's a governmental agency. Women's Desk has been through a trajectory of areas. However, at this present moment, Women's Desk falls within the Department of Community Development, Family and Humanitarian Affairs.
Right.
That's within the Ministry of Public Health, Social Development and Labor.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of insight right there. We're only at the beginning of the interview. I'm so happy that you both made it possible to be here. And also, the main objective of this interview, for those who have just tuned in, is the upcoming debate competition, which is going to be hosted by Women's Desk here in St. Martin. As an organization, are there any other women's organizations which you network with, work closely with?
Oh, yes, certainly. We have the only shelter here in St. Martin, which is Safe Haven. So we work in collaboration with Safe Haven on a lot of things. Besides that, St. Martin has a merit of women's groups,
right,
both socially and religious groups. And we work along with all groups where possible to be able to assist in their program development. They assist us as well, and we work along. We just collaborate.
Ms. Soindra, please tell me, the SXM Women Strong group, when you were called upon to join in for the upcoming debate/competition, what did that mean for you? What did it bring it to the organization of SXM Women Strong?
Well, Charity, when Elencia reached out to us with regards to this debate, actually, she didn't quite tell us what she wanted to do, but she told us what the objective was and what the whole purpose behind it was, and was basically, we are tackling domestic violence. It's Domestic Violence Month, and as women, the minute you hear domestic violence or gender-based violence of any kind, we're there.
Right.
Because we are there to support women.
Mm-hmm. And then when you heard the #HearMeToo, then you were saying probably,
Yes.
this is what you want to be a part of.
Definitely.
Give us a little more insight as to the name SXM Women Strong. How did that come about? Same question I posed to Miss Elencia, the founders.
Let me, can I also give you a little brief history about
Please
St. Martin
do.
Women Strong as well? St. Martin Women Strong is it's a fairly new support group to St. Martin. We were established in February of this year, and St. Martin Women Strong came about after Hurricane Irma. We realized that among ourselves in our direct environment, at work, getting together, even a few at home as well, as women, we realized that we were faced with a lot of choices and a lot of challenges.
Right.
Everyday life for a woman is very hard, making choices. But after Irma, it was extremely hard having to make the choices of whether or not you're going to send your kids away. How do we deal with our 9-to-5 jobs on a daily basis? Balancing the chaos of life.
Right.
After that. And that was an initiative and to start the group. As we saw a need to help each other, give each other advice, we realized that it wasn't just the direct surroundings, but a lot of women in the community had the same questions.
Okay. But now, for like you who started together after the hurricane, was it like a coworker? You started contacting your coworkers like, we should start this?
We are St. Martin Women Strong. We have two founders. That's Vanessa Frazier, Ms. Vanessa Frazier, and myself. Vanessa had an idea. She's a very, fun-loving social person, and she had this idea. And
Right.
we were all brainstorming on how we could help each other, how we could move forward. It was based. We had a task from our jobs in government as to reaching out. We work in personnel as well. Right. So we had a task to reach out to our colleagues in that aspect. And that was one of the ideas that sparked from that task, the support to women in general. As we reached out to our colleagues, we realized that there was a need for that support, and that support was extended not only to colleagues within government, but to the community in itself.
All right. So two started it.
Yes.
Two founded the group.
Two founded the group.
And then after that, how many joined in?
Well, we meet on a monthly basis, and every second Tuesday of the month we meet. And right now, 9 months later, we are at least 50 plus women strong.
Wow. Miss Elencia, the same went that also in essence was the same adaptation that happened with Women's Desk as well. Was it the same that you meet the same time in the month, or once a month, twice a month?
Actually, Women's Desk is not like that.
Okay.
We do not function like that. Women's Desk is a walk-in service. We provide service to the community where persons can be counseled,
Right.
where they can get guidance. There are also empowerment programs that we initiate and run sporadically through the year. We also work along, so we collaborate with other groups to execute programs or to do something in the community for women and their families. So it's not like a group where we meet, a support group, because within women's group, for example, we do have a service that we offer support groups. And they have been dormant for a little bit, but we have had several support groups functioning within Women's Desk.
All right, swinging back over this way to Miss Soindra. The goals you hope to achieve as SXM Women Strong here in St. Martin, and even along with working together closely with Women's Desk on that upcoming date for the debate competition.
What we hope to achieve is we wanna create an awareness and an understanding between women, here on St. Martin, that we are able to uplift each other on a daily basis. We hope to create that environment. Right. So we are taking it one step at a time, reaching out to one lady at a time, and hoping that we can create that awareness among each other, that understanding, and that link that we are uplifters of one another. And once we uplift each other, we definitely will move forward on a happier note, and you'll be able to raise your kids in an even more pleasant environment.
Okay, we hear you. And she even give a little more emphasis on it, with the hair swing. Those of you who can't see us yet, but remember you can also follow us on our stream as well. Continuing on that day of the debate, what will we be seeing as SXM Women Strong and also as Women's Desk for all of us who will be attendance? The arm that you'll be extending as a helping hand on that day, expertise-wise, from SXM Women Strong, given from your experiences after the hurricane as you formed your group.
Well, our collaboration with the Women's Desk, we appreciate them reaching out to us. We definitely want to assist, we are assisting them with our creativity, our understanding on how to deal with life's challenges on a more practical level.
Right.
And we definitely are collaborating and extending our understanding of women in everyday life to Women's Desk on that day. And we hope that, what the awareness that we intend to achieve on that day is definitely achieved.
Yes, it's going to be a success.
Yes, it is.
Miss Elencia Baptist, also Miss Elencia Baptist-Boasman, I have to make sure I say it out. What will we see taking place there for the debate competition? I know it gets really crazy on the day of, let alone preparing for the event, but what will we be witnessing from the professional aspect?
Okay, if I may backtrack a little bit in terms of why this particular debate. Usually in debates, you tend to look for the best of the crop, right? We made a spin on this debate this time. We've reached out to ordinary citizens of the community to be able to debate this topic. To debate a topic, you have to research the topic. Generally, the professionals tend to give information. We want to reverse that. We want to do from a type of bottom-up approach where you get the ordinary citizen doing the research, trying to understand the material and then present the material in a debate form. The difference also with this debate is that the debating groups are made up of young people, so school-going children,
right?
Male, females. They are the ones who comprise the debating teams.
Okay.
So usually you would have the women giving information with regards to domestic violence. Here late, we have some men, and we thank the men who have joined the bandwagon in giving information and support to domestic violence and gender-based violence. But now we are including the teens because if you notice, the elimination is not just for women, but it is women and girls.
Right.
So if you want to really bring home that theme and that message, we have to get the young people involved.
Correct.
We have to help them to begin to see where their rights are. What is gender-based violence? How does it affect me? How can I prevent it? What can I do to make a difference in combating or eliminating gender-based violence? So it's a little twist this time.
Okay. So I'm hearing the mix in age group and also in gender.
Yes, you are.
Your selection process, however, how did you go about that part?
Primarily, we reached out to, and this is where the St. Martin Youth Council played a major role with regards to identifying the youth. Because the Youth Parliament, the St. Martin Youth Parliament, is under the guidance of the St. Martin Youth Council. And the Youth Council was the one who assisted us in identifying youth to be able to participate in this debate. Now, as it relates to the adult section, adults, we just chit and chat with different people and got their input and their interest, sparked their interest. SXM Strong also reached out to some of their members, and through that avenue, we were able to source some debaters.
I mean, they already have 50 and counting.
Yes.
So you can pick. The competition date, will there be any moderators? Who's going to be monitoring everything? Is it going to be a timer set on the discussion segment of the debate competition?
Yes, there is. We have moderating. We have a male and female moderator. We have Miss Vital. Amanda Vital. And we also have Mr. Rolando Tobias, who's going to be moderating the debate. We have a panel of 5 judges. 3 judges will be judging the debate itself. And then we have 2 judges who will be judging best speaker.
All right. It's going to be free?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we have to make sure we
Yes,
announce
it
that.
is. There's no
It's
cost.
important.
There's no cost attached to coming. We know it's month end also, and we also know that it's a Friday.
Right.
Most people tend to unwind on Friday evenings. They go and have a happy hour. So what we chose to do, we are offering you a happy hour free of cost. So you can come unwind between 6:30. We'll be ready for you. Come, mix, interact with the groups all around.
Right.
And then at 7 o'clock, we go into the debate. And I think one of the things too that we want to is not just a debate. Also, we are sharing and bringing about awareness also through the arts.
Okay.
So it's not just the debate that is going to be giving information. We're going to be having something very dramatic to set the stage for the debate.
And I can tell you're still trying to not give too much away. So you want them to come out. All right. So far, we got a little tip. We heard that it's going to have there's a surprise along in essence with also providing information. We'll get the visual as well. And this will be who's going to be responsible for that part. That's the most we're going to give them.
We've approached Funtopia organization, and they will be assisting us in doing that part of it.
All right. The theme, #MeToo. Why?
That's a theme that has been, if you recognize, there's a lot of hear me, see me hashtags going around globally. The United Nations thought that this year, to be able to draw in the youth even more, they've attached to the Eliminate the Unite to End Violence program, the hashtag aspect of it. Because as I said before, it's about girls, not just women only, but it's also girls, youth. And there's a lot of things that are happening with our youth. And we want to get our children involved. Right. So by using the jargon of the youth, the hope is that we can get them on board as well. So it's not our theme. It's a theme that is put out by the United Nations Women's Committee. And you are allowed to use the theme internationally. All women's organizations are allowed to use the theme, and we are using the theme. I think what is important for us is the mood of the debate, because we are not debating #HearMeToo. Okay. We are asking you to hear us as the debaters, the ordinary citizen, the youth, the man, the woman. We want you to hear us, hear our views. But the mood, I think, is very important. And I think the mood is something that sparks a serious interest.
Remind them again.
The
What's
mood is religion and culture are obstructing the elimination of gender-based violence in the Caribbean. So the topic, religion and culture, two main important aspects of persons, individual living within any culture, the way of life of a people, how is that obstructing eliminating gender-based violence? How? Why?
And that is where we will hear from those who are debating as well, and interaction from the crowd.
Yes.
I think the participation part is going to be something that one should not want to miss.
No, definitely not.
That's going to be rather interesting.
Yes, because also what we'll be doing, the mood is there, but before we start the debate, we want to hear from you, the audience, through a poll. What is your perspective? Just via a poll. And then after the debate, we go back and we take another poll to determine whether or not some level of awareness took place.
Right.
And see if maybe my perception has changed. Oh, I didn't know that. Maybe I got something different. So by getting some additional information, it perhaps caused me to either rethink my perspective, or maybe I might become a little neutral now. I'm not hard and fast against, but I'm neutral. I'm processing it. And by processing it, I will move perhaps to a more in agreement with.
All right. Now, it's a wealth of information, and this should be documented because it's going to be really big. Who's going to be responsible for that part, handling documentary of this debate competition?
Well, we as Women's Desk, we will ensure that we have someone involved in documenting, because the intention also of gathering of information.
Right.
It's not just because we are a government agency, and it's not just arbitrary to just gather information, but information will also be used for the purpose of policy development and the structuring of women's work here on St. Martin.
All right. Different groups that you also extend an invitation to. Who are they?
We have a laundry list, a long list of invitees that we've extended an invitation to, but just off the top of my head, for sure, Safe Haven. We have Voices. We have Prominent Women. We have the support group for teen mothers. We have, of course, we extended invitation to our dignitaries. We extended invitation to, oh boy, my head is kind of full now.
Various schools?
But various schools, because we usually work along with the counseling units for the schools. So we've extended an invitation to the schools, as well as within government, the student support services, social services, the various agencies that we tend to work along with.
Right.
And so we've accustomed to, whenever we have an event, we tend to extend an invitation to most of these groups. And over the years, we've had good support and good feedback from these organizations.
That's good, and we hope that they continue on in showing their support.
Yes.
Assembling this big debate, the process, how long was it to get this organized? We're already in this very same month of the event. You have a couple more days to go prior to the event. Preparation, walk us through that, please.
Wow. Well, we actually started with in-house. We started since in September. You know how things work within government. It's a process. You have to not just pitch your idea, but you also have to get approval from your department head. Once that the approval comes, then you write your project proposal. Your project is approved. Then you begin to approach stakeholders who you intend to work along with. And strange enough, when we sat and we were discussing, my colleague Malaika and I, when we were discussing it, I said, why not do a debate? You know, we've done the awareness through various forms in the past. We've never attempted a debate. Why not do a debate? And I heard my email ping at that time. And when it pinged, when I look over at my desk and I look at the email, here is the St. Martin Youth Council inviting us to be part of their debate competitions their round of debate competitions that they were having.
See how that worked.
Yes, I said, wow, this is confirmation.
Yeah.
So immediately we continued the process, and I must say my colleague Malaika, she's very supportive in this process, as well as my department head and my other colleagues. They've worked along with us, and I said, well, you know what? In our discussion, I said, we have SXM Women Strong, a young group on the scene.
Right.
Let's reach out to this group. Let's offer our support in bringing them on board with the whole process of the elimination of violence movement. Let's bring them on board. We've worked with others in the past. Let's give this group a chance now. Right. And we've reached out to SXM Women Strong. Immediately, they were sold. If I may say, they were sold, and they came on board, and I must say they have been a source of strength, a source of help, because in putting any debate or any activity together, it requires a lot of work. And we are thankful for the hands that comes, their expertise, their knowledge, their creativity. We are very grateful for that. And I must say, thank you guys.
Thank you
for being here with us. And I know it's not going to be our first nor last activity.
What makes this debate different, apart from all the others that has ever been held, you would say, in your opinion? Both Ms. Soindra, you can also answer on that, and Ms. Elencia.
I'll allow
Feel
Soindra
free
to go on this one first.
I think the mixture makes it very different.
Right.
You know, this topic is a topic that is I wouldn't, for lack of a better word right now, it's a very heavy topic. And I think the mixture of views, the debaters that we have that will be debating this topic, I think that's what makes it very different. We have the youth with their own views. We have, as we termed it during our selection, the folks that are out of school and the folks that are in school. You know, you have everybody in different areas of life at this point giving their opinion on what religion and culture does to gender-based violence. So that's what makes it special.
Yeah, and I think for me, what makes it special, religion in particular, and I want to emphasize, religion does not necessarily mean Christianity. We are talking religion in the broadest sense of the word. St. Martin has what we consider, I wouldn't want to say a melting pot, because we are not really melting, but we are a pulpery of people on St. Martin, different cultures, different religious beliefs. And it is interesting for us to begin to include this aspect within the whole process, the whole movement for gender equality. Because over the years, we have not really looked at this aspect. And I think we've looked at the causes, we've looked at the types, we've looked at all sorts of different things related to gender-based violence and domestic violence.
Right.
However, the aspect of religion, something that people really touch on, how does that influence, continues to influence? How does that really affect the whole process of gender equality on St. Martin?
All right.
And you know, religion is a culture. Religion becomes culture because religion becomes a way of life. So therefore, that's what makes this debate so different and very interesting too.
Right.
Because I think with the audience interaction, you will begin to hear different views and perspective of what people think, how they feel, and what they intend to do.
We hear you.
Yeah.
I posed this question previously, but it was targeted between the different organizations. Now, coming together as a body for this event, the competition, the debate competition, what do you hope to achieve, hope to see come to life after the event?
For us as Women's Desk, a stronger working relationship with SXM Women Strong, and not just a stronger working relationship, but in every relationship, you're looking for growth. And to be able to attack song is a negative word, but to be able to influence and to be able to make a difference in different aspects of family life, women's life, not just women's life, but gender equality on a whole in St. Martin.
All right. Soindra?
In a response to that, I think, Charity, I would have to say that I hope that this debate creates real awareness towards violence in general, not just domestic violence, but violence in its entirety. I hope that after this debate, we understand that violence is not only, the physical act itself,
Right.
when it is happening, but it is every thought, every emotion, and every action that follows after the initial act.
Mm-hmm.
So I would hope that, we could eliminate it as, as I would say that it would be a complete cause for elimination of violence in its entirety.
Right. To both ladies, we've come to the end of this interview here inside of St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 FM. I'd like to thank both my guests from the Women's Desk. We have been joined by Miss Elencia Baptist-Boasman, and then from SXM Women Strong, Miss Soindra Compper-Maccow. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, Charity, for having us.
To our radio listeners and television viewers, I'd like to thank you for tuning in and being a part of this edition of Inside Government. If you have missed our broadcast, be sure to log on to the official government website, which is at stmartingov.org for video on demand. For a rebroadcast of this program, be sure to tune into St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 FM. On behalf of our team here at the Department of Communication, I'm Charity Dunker. Thank you for listening.